I feel like then you leave when I'm hollow. Some days I get so low. It has to be you, has to be you. I feel like this is crazy.
Alright guys, so back at the shop, back to work on the bike. Today we're doing the cylinders, kind of prepping, getting ready to be installed. Still, of course, can't install them, so I get these wrist pins replaced on them. Little bushings, but just going to knock out these pistons. Of course, any end tool to do the end gaps on pistons. Make sure you get the right one, because trying to file them by hand, and if you're not experienced doing it by hand, you gotta fuck them up. So, filler gauges. And of course, these cylinders I got from V-Twin, thanks to the help of the guys at Rodney's. Nice little black chrome finish on those. Alright, I had a little initial pause, but coffee. It's still early for me. I woke up not too long ago. Alright, grab the piston. That's a very good question. Is where the fuck did I do it? The piston rings. Of course, you're gonna need your piston to do it. I got a nice little dome shape. This right here. That with the additional oil ports. It's gonna help you the same. Get to put on the motor. First off, I gotta figure out what the fuck I did with this goddamn other piston ring. So I have one inside the cylinder already. To assist in this process. I don't know what happened to the others, which is not a good thing. Shit. I know they didn't grow a pair of legs and walked off, but where the fuck did they go? Oh no. This is a $700 kit that I bought for this bike. Not cheap. I don't want to spend more money getting more piston rings. And for those to disappear too. Just pull everything out of those pistons when you get them brand new. The question is, I stuck them in the other bag with the other piston. Which I did, because this is the rear piston I'm working on. These were the rear piston rings I was going to start fucking with. Whoops, that's entirely on my ass. I pull the dodo moment, of course. Pull this shit back into this piston. Put this piston back inside. Alright. Pull everything out of this piston. Okay. I did get a sheet for these pistons. You're supposed to calculate these properly. The bore on these pistons is almost 3.5 inch, which is they're 3.498. I'll put them on the screen in the editing, but they give you a little mathematical equation. I'll put it down. I'll show you what it looks like. But you're supposed to take the bore of the cylinder with the filler gap thickness that comes factory with the rings, and you find the size you need for the type of performance of the motor, like as in these right here. These are the different types of motors, the different types of piston ring sets that come factory, and then of course then you're supposed to calculate them together mathematical wise. Yes, you have to use math still on these to find the correct filler thickness. I had the thickness, I don't remember where I wrote it down. I know I did the calculations on my computer once too. Here at work, I'm going to head log into my computer here real quick so I can pull up my specs I had pulled up for it. At least I don't log in everything at work. I can skip it. I usually would play music here, but today I'm not going to. I'm trying to focus on making this. These keep seeing me check my collar, I have a microphone on, as y'all can see. Put it on my collar. I did test it beforehand. Put it too close on my collar, it sounded like shit. I couldn't get these little fuzzy pieces on. I don't know how to do that. That sounds good. For my style of bike, I did find out that I'm running like a high performance street / strip bike because it's a standard 883 cylinder bike that's running 1200 cylinders, which is high performance, especially the Wizco dome pistons, which makes it high performance as well. So I'm running about factory piston with these rings. These are 45 thousandths of a gap because look at it. So I gotta calculate this. 0.18 times 0.005. Which makes about, it's a very long number. I'll put the original number shown right here of what that whole equation makes it out to be. But I would preferably not round it, but in this case I probably will, which is going to make it about 16 thousandths, because it's kind of hard to get that exact number with filler gauges. Of course, we're going to double verify the filler gap I have on the current pistons. Need to go to a smaller number. Up, not down. 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 'm gonna have a little gap because these are set to a certain thickness. I'm double checking the gaps that I got from factory with the pistons. And this filler gauge set I got was very oily when I bought it. So it's gonna make it kind of a headache to do this. About between that right there. I also need to double check, make sure how thick the gap is. So you keep going up till you find how much you truly know you're at, to the point where how much you got to file off. Like from what the number shows me, it's 0.015741. You're not going to find that the easiest unless you have like a random tool you can stick in there and you just expand it to find the true fill gap, end gap play in these. But I'm going to keep testing, seeing where this end gap it came with factory. Oh, they got a little snuggie right there on 5, unless 5 had 6 behind it. Yes, it did. Jump up to 10 there. 10 hundredths. A little snug on 10. Try an 11. 11 fits just fine. Try 12. 12 fits just fine in there too. Jump to 13. Let's see, now 13's tight. 13's a little tight. When I say 13, this is what I mean right here. Written right here, kind of hard, but I mean, right, that's 0.13. You guess, of course, if some youngsters out there who don't hate math and don't want to recognize it, the first point after the decimal is tens. You got the hundredths, the thousandths. So this would be considered 13 thousandths. And number I got to get to is 15 thousandths for the correct diameter of get this stuff set. Right now it's got a little snug on 13. I'm going to keep going. Just going to double check 13 again, make sure. I did make sure the piston ring was in their level. You're supposed to take the piston ring, fish it in there, take the piston, push the piston down about ½ an inch in there, quarter, ½ an inch, your preference. From the older people out there who've done it long enough will tell you different. This is the way I've seen it. This is the way I've researched it. I'm trying this way. Like I said before in the last couple of videos, I'm not professional at this. First time I pulled apart an engine deeply to this standards. I pulled engines apart before, but not this in depth. 13. It's a little snug, but still good. 14. Now see, 14 will not fit. Like it just hairlines that. So we got to get that out of the piston. Grab our little handy dandy filing tool here. We're gonna start filing this down a little bit. Take it slow when you file. That's what I've seen in some videos that they do say that don't pay attention to what you're doing, you will end up fucking it up. And also pay close attention to your piston rings. They're very directional. Your top and your bottom rings, so your first and second oil rings, are very particular how you do things, because they are grooved a certain pattern. So the paperwork you will get with some of your piston rings, especially from Wiseco made it very dummy proof. If you still don't know what you're doing, preferably spend the money to go do it. I'm budgeting this, and I'm also taking it as an educational purpose. So I'm trying to make sure I find the appropriate groove mark of these piston rings, make sure they know where they go. Because this is the top one. I'll show you what the bottom one looks like. The bottom one has an indication right there. In some portions you can see it. If the camera will focus on it. The camera focuses. Like there's a little groove that's on the inside of the piston ring right here. There's also an indicator on the top portion of it. It says top. You gotta be careful where you put those, because in some places it'll say top on this side with the groove on the complete opposite side, like this one is. Like top side is here, the groove side is down on the bottom right here, all the way around it. And in the Wiseco sheets, they do show you how to install the piston rings, which side goes top, which side goes bottom. Yeah, so for the Wiseco set, the second ring, which is the ring that goes after the first ring, is basically the bottom groove down with the top side up is the second ring, and your top ring is the other one with the notch on top. I didn't see a notch on that one, which is kind of interesting. They usually do make it very slightly noticeable about these grooves. This one I'm not seeing a groove, but now the top, if you research some videos and stuff, some people will explain to you how these piston rings work. I know to an extent of what they do. And of course, your top ring, sorry, I've got a phone call in the midst of that. But back to what I was saying, your top ring is basically the sealant of the piston bottom side where it lubricates everything, and your combustion chamber and everything else, which helps. So as your piston goes down in circulation, so you're going up, it keeps the compression, it keeps the compression at the top of the piston. It doesn't let it go down the sides, which in this case, we've seen what happened to my pistons. But in the long run, this gears it into this, keeps it in there and everything. Then as for your second, as it comes down, as piston's doing its down cycle, it's grabbing all of that oil and pulling the oil all the way down that cylinder to help with it. And of course your second ring, this is your oil ring, on top of the other oil ring that you have that'll come in it. This one helps the separation between the two. It's like you have a first glaze and you have a second glaze that helps move the oil and compression and keep it between it. And they're also used like spacers to keep them separated. Piston from the sidewalls, because if these fail and the piston starts rubbing against the sidewalls, it starts to cause issues and it starts to grind down inside those piston cylinders, where you have more than just a piston ring issue with the piston. Now you have to replace the whole cylinder. But let's go ahead and try to look into this, and I'll try to catch this somewhat in video. So first, take the filer, take the piston ring, I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to take one side of the piston ring. There is two props on this to help you push it into, if I have a flat surface for it, that helps you push it into it to where you make sure you get a good filing of the piston ring on there. But I'm going to make sure that I have the right side down, make sure I'm filing the right side. I'm going to go back, stick it in there, make sure it's good. And when it's good, this one's done. I'm starting the second ring. See, we're just barely grind that down. It's going to be a little sharp. Take it back over with another file on each top sides. Don't file the inside of it where you just file these. There's videos that show you what is the case. If you did file these awkwardly and improperly, it does scar the inside of the pistons, which does cause issues. And of course, I'm going to take the inside portions of it, just barely clean them up. Alright, now we got that cleaned up. Stick this back in here. So how I do it, put the open gap on the top, help press it in, turn it in there. And I try to pull it back as close to the top I can without pulling it out of the cylinder. You take your piston. How I used it is, I used the top ring, the first ring, to set it in there, make sure it was leveled all the way around. Do mess up the distance inside the hole, you can always just restart. Careful while trying to do this because you could fuck up something in particular and you don't want that to happen. Oh, this one does have an indicator for top and bottom. I didn't see it, it was very light tone. Now I see it, that's good. This can help me. Making sure that in there level. Okay, now that's in there level. Flip my piston around, take my filler gap tool, check the end gap, still trying with 14. See now 14 goes in there smoothly, it's like baby's butt. I'll make fun of my terms and terminology. Make sure none of these are stuck together. Try 15. Now 15's a little snug. Try to get this to a 16 at least. Let's see, 16 don't feel right. I think it came uneven. I think that's what my issue is. No, it's on their level. 16, I think. Hope to God I didn't. Maybe grounded a little too much off. Yep, 17's too tight to go in there. So that end gap play for that ring. This is a 17 thousandths, and I had to get it between, for these specs, for this cylinder, the top rings of the cylinder, they have a certain spec thickness. This one goes from 200ths to, I think it was 20 thousandths of an end gap. And since this is at 16, this almost meets the end gap play of this one, which is good. And since it's at a 16th gap and I can't get the 17 in there, we should be good to go. At least it's in the tolerance which of a new spec is. So this one is good to go. Now we need to do the bottom one. Of course, make sure you're reading from top to bottom. Make sure you put the top on top when you first put it in. Put the piston down in there. Make sure it's leveled. Check the end gap of this that comes factory. Of course, I'm going to see for new end gap for the second ring. It's 900ths to 52 thousandths. It's a big gap difference between the two. But we're going to check this one, and this one has to be, if I run my calculations again, it would be 3.48 multiplied by, the second ring on this set was 55 thousandths as well. No, that's a little more. 5,500 thousandths. Gosh, pick a fucking number. Tiny brain. Which this one is going to be about 19 thousandths. So a little closer to the top one, but still in the spec. I'm going to try run it straight up with the 15. Make sure it's not stuck to the 16, of course. Now see, I can't get 15 in there. We're going to drop it back, see where it sits at. Go ahead and throw 14 in there. 14 barely gets in there, and it's very tight for it. But it's in there. So it's 14. I got to drop it down another 5 thousandths. Make sure it's in spec of what I'm supposed to file it to. Or just take your hand dandy filing tool and file the side that does not say top. Because if you file the side that says top and you end up getting too close to it or fucking it up, you won't know which side was what. Stick this back in here. Oh shit. Take piston. Okay. Gotta get back on this. Major time frame from the video was stopped later in the day. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon now. I'm going to try to jump back onto these. Shove this back in here real quick. Make sure get it all set up and ready to do this shit. Put everything back in this piston. Just make sure I don't lose any of it. Oh, I just shoved the crap out of that into there. She's in there. The calculations on this one is 19 thousandths. Handy dandy tool here. Make sure I'm trying to read the correct one. Yeah, this one got to shim down some more. See what it's at on this. Shoot it to 17 real quick. 17 not either. Oh, shoot. 16? 16. fits it. We got a ways to go because 19 thousandths is a big number to jump to. Fits it in there just fine. 19 barely snugs it, which is still good. Now that 19 fits it, I'm gonna clean these up, set the pistons up for this one, for rear cylinders. All that. Clean up this piston ring real quick. Now that we got these gapped correctly, we're gonna go ahead and install these rings. This is your oil ring set right here. They go in a certain way. The way it lists and everything else that goes in there it comes with it, so that's a plus. Trying to get these all pulled out. Trying to lose them. Pull a little handy note sheet out right here. These are your oil ring extender rings. We're just going to simply install these on here. Some people say use a tool to do this. I've seen videos where people said that they've snapped rings in the past from doing it and everything else. These don't take much pressure to force open and stuff. You just got to make sure you get them in the right designated home and where they belong. So I got the first ring in there, and this one goes in next. This goes in the same groove. I just put that first ring. Make sure it's in there first. Get this next ring set in there. I might not put the correct ring in there. So these are extender rings. Oh, you're supposed to put this oil rail and piece in there first. I'm not the greatest at this, okay? So don't take my words granted. It's an educational video for myself, doing all this. I've never done this before. This has specialized grooves on it, so you want to make sure it goes in there correctly. So that's what I'm just finding out. Get that put in there. And it does say to make sure that this thing is the butted ends, where basically it's two curves like this, where you got hooks, they butt together. It says to butt them together, so I'm going to make sure they're properly butted together. It does give you little diagrams on how it's supposed to go in, so I'm double checking, make sure it goes in correctly. Okay, so front engine is there. That's supposed to go there. Take bottom ring of that oil rail piece. Trying to find the easiest way for me to install this because I've never done piston before. Shocker, but still, it doesn't hurt to learn, right? Alright. Oh, got it in there. Make sure I find that gap piece for the oil rail extender. I could have, no, holy shit. I have really poor eyesight. I'm going to say that right now. My eyes are not the greatest trying to find things. Yeah, there you are. Supposed to be right there. That's there. It says to stick the other one, next ring, that same oil rail exception, at a 90-degree angle away from that bottom one. Make sure you get it in the right correct groove, because I about just fucked up. And once you get them in there, you can actually move them around much easier. I'm like trying to get it on currently, because trying to make sure they're 100% right off the bat, you ain't gonna do it. So always go in there with the pick and fish them around to the correct positioning. Like right now, I just put them at about 45 degrees opposite from each other. Go in there with the pick real quick and just pull that sucker a whole 90 degrees. Basically, you want it into like two separate corners of each other. And we're going to grab our bottom ring. Make sure the top side says top. This one says top right here on this side. It's got a groove on the bottom. This is the bottom ring. The second ring from what diagrams say. And your piston rings are going to stick off like that. That's that compression ring. That's what helps sit in there correctly. You take a top ring, which is the compression side ring, which keeps it all the goods separated. Just like that other ring, basically keeps the oil separated from the compression. This is the compression ring. The compression ring keeps it separated from oil. Fish this sucker on there now. Just go around, make sure it gets in there smoothly. It's gonna fight you because these things are not thin, they are pretty thick, and they're stiff. They're going to fight you. Ready? She's on there. Right now, I don't have to worry about where they sit on this piston because I'm not going to get this on there in time. Because in order to get this installed, I have to get the wrist pin bushings for the wrist pins all set up on the connecting rods inside of the motor for the new ones to go in, because right now the old ones are in all worn, and they do have like a back to top in play where it does this. And with that happening, it's going to fuck up these new pistons, so I'd rather get those replaced. Right now, I'm going to put one of the keepers in there for right now, so you know that this one ready to go. Try to pull on that awkwardly. Use the wrist pin to assist me. Just ever so slightly, just push this in there. Sure. Tries to go through both holes because I don't really want to force that fucker through there. Fighting a little bit. Find a socket on the inside of it. Another socket to go to the other side. Back up. This side. In there. Fight it all the way.
Evolui pra burro. Mas burro convicto
These things aren't the greatest getting in. They're a pain in the fucking ass, believe me.
Comprei terreno na lua pra fazer churrasco. Mais tarde descobri que eu fui enganado. Inventei filosofia tomando corote. Escrevi a arte do tolo no guardanapo do bote. E quando morrer quero epitáfio decente.
As soon as you get it somewhat started in that groove with one of the ends, it's gonna go in there just like that. Now it's in there. Slightly, just see it. A little clip that's in there holds this little pin in there. And the correct way to get them in is that you want to have at least one side lapping this little specialized hole right here. Because in order to remove them, you have to at least get one of those two sides to pop off, to come out of it. Once you get that one side off, it comes out with ease. You knock the wrist pin out to that side, you remove the clip on, and it just comes right out like this side. I gotta put one on this side too. Once I get this wrist pin nice and sat in there, get that new wrist pin in there. Wrist pin lock clip. I know this side's gonna fight me just as much as this side did, but it's gonna be twice as hard because I have the assistance of the wrist pin holding it in and trying to push something in there to hold it in there and trying to lock it in. Good? Okay. Kind of figured. Yeah, because that's only one piston out of all of them. Yeah. I dumped this coffee out while I'm at it. Coffee I made this I never finished. Tempted. With this weather. Hey, I don't go to bed till 1 a.m. in the morning and I wake up at 6:30 every day. It's weird.